Welcome back to Module 1 of Scope, Time, and Cost Management. In this lesson, we will work on the scope development. First, let's start with the project scope statement. The project scope statement defines what are we going to do for our project. If you recall, it's one of the three elements of the iron triangle, along with cost and schedule. Having a well-defined scope is essential to successful project management. Project scope statements can be divided into two parts. Product scope. This is a description of the physical product, service, or results of the project. The product scope describes what we will deliver to the customer as part of the project. It includes the deliverables and final results of our efforts. It is the lasting result of our efforts. Next is the services scope. The services scope describes what work we will do to deliver the product. Will we perform studies? Will we do a design? Will we contract with others to produce the final product? The services scope describes what our team will do as part of the project. In some cases, the services scope and the product scope may be the same element. For instance, if our project is to perform a feasibility study or to investigate a new market, the services activities become part of the final result and the deliverable. It is important to include both elements in your project scope statement. Leaving out the services scope can lead to important misunderstandings. As an example, suppose your project is to deliver a new product. Let's say it's a new salad dressing. Two different and valid options include setting up a commercial kitchen and having the organization make the product themselves, or another option is to hire out the process to a co-packer based on your recipe. These are two very different projects, and your sponsor will have very different expectations. One involves designing a kitchen, while the other involves vetting vendors and contracting with them. Coming to a common understanding on the services scope is important to managing customer expectations. The project scope statement is just one but essential part of the project scope management. The scope management process starts in the planning stage of a project. In the planning stage, we develop the scope management plan, collect the project requirements, prepare the scope statement, and create the work breakdown structure, or WBS. In the monitoring and controlling stage, we continuously validate the project scope and control it. Taken together, these steps make up the project scope management process. Scope development is the heart of this process. Project scope development includes three key steps: planning how we will develop the scope, collecting the requirements, preparing the actual project scope statement to define the scope and obtain agreement. As we move forward in this module, we will discuss each of these steps plus the validation and control steps in project scope management. In this lesson, we defined what we meant by project scope statement. We also looked at the steps in the project scope management process. In the next lesson, we will examine the three steps in the project scope development process.